Majority Leader.
The cloture vote that we were originally going to have at 2:15 will be pushed back several hours to 4 p.m. And I would just add, in addition to the comments of the senator from California, I want to thank Senator Inhofe, who I think was in the room. Right here, yeah. Nobody's been a stronger advocate for a multi-year highway bill than the senator from Oklahoma. And in spite of the rather dramatic philosophical differences between the senator from California and the senator from Oklahoma, when it comes to a transportation bill, they've had a remarkable team over the years. And so I want to thank my chairman as well for an extraordinary contribution to all of this. I yield the floor.
Mr. President.
The senator from Oklahoma.
Yeah, Mr. President, I appreciate that very much, and I would say that working in concert with Senator Boxer has been a pleasure. You know, a lot of times philosophically in this room here, we'll disagree with each other on things, but then when it gets down to what we're supposed to be doing here, I have to remind people quite often that if you read the Constitution on what we are supposed to be doing here, I'm talking about members of the United States Senate, we're supposed to be defending America and roads and bridges. That's it. And so this by far is the most important thing that's going on now that we have the defense bill behind us, and I look forward to making this a reality. The idea of a 6-year bill is very significant because you can't do the big projects. This morning on the floor, with charts, I showed all the different big, large, like the Spence Bridge between Kentucky and Ohio, these bridges and projects that have to be done, and it has to be a long-term bill in order to do that. I also shared this morning an experience that I had, the I-35 bridge that we put into the last major bill that we had was 2005. We put that repairs, that was in Oklahoma City. We actually had a death of a lady and her 3 children driving under a bridge with concrete falling off. So we've got to repair America. And this is the first step toward that repair. It's very important that we proceed to the bill, and I'd suggest to people that if you don't like it, if you plan to vote against it, that's fine, but bring it out here so that we can discuss it, we can discuss the merits, the demerits, and we can also start working on amendments. And I would encourage any member who's listening right now to bring amendments down. Bring them down, because when we proceed to the bill, I'm going to be down here on the floor as long as we're in session, and wanting to get to these amendments. So it doesn't do any good to wait to the last minute and then show up and say, you know, I have an amendment on the day of passage of the bill. We will have deadlines. And in order to get germane and non-germane amendments up for consideration, we've got to have them down here. And if you miss a deadline, then you won't have that opportunity. So it's really up to the members now to make sure that happens. But before we can get to that, the one thing that has to happen is we have to proceed to the bill that has to be passed at 4 o'clock today. With that, I yield the floor, suggest the absence. Let me withdraw. And it's consent that the Senate stand in recess as if under the previous order.
Is there objection? Without objection. Morning business is closed. Under the previous order, the Senate stands in recess until 2:15 p.m.